Are we ready to go yet, Mel?
You're good to go.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. I am Joe Venezia. I am the chair of Florida Rights of Nature Network. We are the organization that is behind this Right to Clean and Healthy Waters constitutional amendment. Tonight is all about how are we going to qualify for the 2026 ballot. And before I turn this over to Mel Martin, who is our campaign coordinator, I want to talk for just a couple of minutes, starting with a personal story that perhaps gives some insight into why I am helping as hard as I am in regard to this amendment. So back in the 1980s, I was hiking in Adirondack Park. For those of you who don't know it, it's the nation's largest park, 6 million acres of seemingly endless mountains, forests, literally tens of thousands of rivers and streams and crystal clear lakes. It's an area that is more wild now than it was 100 years ago. So I was backpacking, and one night I threw my food over a branch, hang my bear bag, so bags wouldn't get it, and they didn't. But those wily raccoons, they did. And they left me with nothing but one tea bag and an empty peanut butter jar. They managed to unscrew that. I said, okay, that's all right. I have my fishing gear. I'm going to fish for my food. And there I was fishing at this beautifully iconic blue mountain lake for about 2 hours without a nibble. I was not a good fisherman, but usually I can manage a few nibbles here and there. After about 2 hours, a local hiker came by and from the trail yelled out, "Good luck with that. Lake's dead. Acid rain." In the decades before the 80s, power plants in the Midwest were emitting pollutants high up into the air, carried by winds. They came east, hit the mountains, and came down as acid rain. They made the water in hundreds of Adirondack lakes so acidic that all life in them died. 700 lakes died. The situation wasn't corrected until a bunch of those northeastern states filed a lawsuit against those power plants and the EPA in order for them to clean up their emissions, which they did. Gesundheit. Now, decades later, some of those lakes are alive again, showing signs of life. But hundreds of them remain dead and will be dead, not for just decades, but for generations to come. This personal experience, the greatest ecological tragedy that I had experienced firsthand, left an indelible impression upon me. It was profoundly sad, profoundly wrong, to me, a great tragedy. Let's talk about Florida. I feel like a broken record, and I know I'm talking to some of our own ambassadors, and you have heard me list these facts before, but I'm going to list them again because to understand just how much we need this amendment, we need to know just how critical a condition our waters are in. We have 1,000 springs in the state. 800 of them are polluted. According to the Florida Springs Council, they may take hundreds of years to get cleaned up. We've got nearly 1 million acres of estuaries, 9,000 miles of rivers and streams contaminated with fecal bacteria. Red tide has exploded in the last 30 years, 200 months of red tide, more months of red tide than not. Blue-green algae blooms, almost a yearly occurrence, threaten people with neurodegenerative diseases. But water says that our seagrass beds are on the brink of a death spiral. No state has more acres of polluted lake water than does Florida. No state has lost more acres of wetlands than we have. To me, profoundly wrong, profoundly sad, and we are on the edge of a tragedy if we don't correct things. And unfortunately, the challenge is only going to get greater because our Supreme Court has been passing rulings that are constraining the ability of federal agencies to protect our waters. But that is where our amendment comes in. With it, we can provide the protections that our waters need, that our wetlands need, etc. So, I want to close by saying this. Fran has been working on this right to clean water effort now for about 5 years in different ways and forms. It's a long-determined effort founded on some strongly held beliefs. And here are those beliefs. I'm speaking on behalf of the board. We believe that everybody has a fundamental right to clean and healthy waters and ecosystems. We believe that future generations have this same right and that we have a responsibility to make sure that they inherit waters and ecosystems as healthy, if not healthier, than those that we have inherited from previous generations. We believe that the harm done to Florida's magnificent wildlife is on sinful scales and to sinful degrees. And we believe that our regulatory system's first responsibility is to protect our interests in clean and healthy waters. And when special interests have too much influence over environmental policy that degrades our waters, that threatens our waters, that is profoundly wrong. And we need a legal tool to correct that situation. The legal tool is not a silver bullet, but when other means fail, our right to clean and healthy waters can offer the protections we need. So we have been working on this for a long time. Doesn't mean we have to keep on working on it forever. We can qualify for the ballot this year. That's what professionals tell us. And I know their campaign's not even starting until February. So how are we going to do it? What's the plan? And that's what the rest of the program is going to be about. And I'm going to stop jabbering on. I'm going to pass this over to Mel. Take it away, Mel.
Thanks so much, Joe. I'll go ahead and share the slides for you right now. And I think this is the theme of the day and theme for the year, the lighting a fire. Thank you all for joining us as we present the plan and how we're going to qualify for the ballot. I really appreciate Joe's personal story. I can share my own in a few seconds. And I want you to each think about what has lit the fire under yourself that caused you to, show up today. What is your why? What angers you? What inspires you? What compelled you to the degree of support that you've already done so far and the degree of support that you plan to do in the future? I tell you this because storytelling is a powerful tool. And so, so that's something we should all consider as part of our new normal, is to share our personal stories with everyone that will listen. For me, I was born and raised in Florida. I believe that anyone that goes outside is a default environmentalist because it's just so dang beautiful. And it was more beautiful than it is today, if you can imagine. But just growing up and playing in the waters of the springs, of the beaches, so often, like every week, we would go out and do something. And that is the cherished childhood that I really wanted to share with my kids. I have 3 boys. They're a little older now. But when I retired from the Marine Corps and came back to Central Florida with that intent fully, I really wanted to share with them all of the secrets that I knew of how to fish well. At least with the extent I knew. And my will was thwarted by the condition of the fishing hole that I grew up on, which was the Indian River Lagoon. It was coughing up blood, let's just say, and the fish kills, all of the issues that were going on in Brevard County at the time with the waters, it compelled me to do something. So the bottom line is that really affected me on a visceral level, and that is why I've dedicated my life, my free time, my retirement time to work pro bono, fully volunteer on this particular measure, because it really is the only way forward if we want to see the change we need. So regarding the plan, I'm going to start by giving you the main themes, which are lighting the fire of hope, lighting the fire of passion and determination, empowerment, perseverance, and we're going to be lighting the fire of folks who are just fed up with status quo, okay? You may have seen this particular theme of ugly pictures sprinkled in, in our previous messages or posts, but some folks still today don't know or understand how polluted the waters are, or how polluted water affects them personally. They still need to see, they still need to smell, and they still need to feel what real harms are knocking on their door today. They need to see these ugly pictures, and they need to hear from Floridians suffering in cancer clusters, okay, across the state. So more on that in a bit, but again, here is the central theme for today and for 2025, it's commitment. This is our central theme because in the past, we've gotten a lot of widespread support. You can see on our website how we're supported across party lines, in communities of faith, across in the Angler community. I mean, just about everyone who loves Florida wants this, okay? And general support is very nice, but it's not enough. What needs to happen, and what you'll see in upcoming newsletters, you'll have the opportunity to make your commitment known, not just to us, but to the rest of Florida. How many petitions can you collect in a year? How many or how much money can you help identify or otherwise raise or give by the end of the summer? Okay, those types of commitments are going to be so important. Why? Because the idea is to have a clear picture of what we'll be able to accomplish together. And as a state. So when we see these commitment numbers coming in, and when we see the commitment numbers reach 900,000 signatures, think of the powerful kick that is going to give everyone involved. Just imagine when we see, yes, everyone's committed, they know what to do, they know how to do it, and they have the tools. It's just a matter of doing it. That in and of itself is a huge key to the motivation necessary to accomplish our goals. So we'll be able to move from whether we're going to, meet our goal to when or how soon can we meet our goal. So that's going to be a huge pivot for this particular grassroots effort. Now, of course, you see in the, you're going to have in the background a fundraising effort. So if and when our anchor donors, our saviors with big money, whatever you want to call it, chimes in and says, yes, I like what I see, I'm going to throw a large chunk toward you to get you across the finish line. That is going to also be another pivot in the future, because it'll give us a lot of relief, and we'll be able to definitely, absolutely cross the finish line when we need to. So what is the plan? The plan is you. Through your commitments, you'll be signaling how you plan to help. So what I want to cover first is how we're going to ignite passion in the next slide, how we're going to spark the fires to spread across the state, and then we'll talk about the tools that we have available to make this happen, both statewide and in each county that we really need to get the numbers at. And finally, just a quick note about grit. Hard work, stick-to-itiveness, whatever you want to call it, discipline, perseverance, with something that I don't think is abnormal in Florida. I think every Floridian, especially those who have gone through the hurricanes, in life and in reality, people understand that, you know, what discipline looks like and what that means and how to follow through. So how are we going to accomplish this? We're going to do so through the pre-established community networks and really focus on the stakeholders of clean water. So you have, of course, the fishing and boating communities and everyone who's in or plays in or on the water. You have, of course, the waterfront and the coastal businesses, the property owners, the investors in this type of realm. You have the younger Floridians who like to make change, who need to make change for their own good and their own futures. And then you have the senior Floridians who are concerned about their kids and grandkids, who really want to do what's right and set the legacy by correcting course for good, for posterity. You also have the water and wildlife conservation communities and the communities of faith and goodwill, human health advocates. All of these folks have incredible stakeholdership and cause to lead, cause to do something more to constitutionalize and enshrine this particular right to clean and healthy waters in Florida. So we're going to have a few new faces and voices and organizers to help lead and coordinate these efforts. We already have great people stepping forward and doing things already. You're probably already familiar with these particular faces, but Captain Adam Morley of Northeast Florida, St. Augustine area, has said, yes, I'll take it. The fishing and boating communities, outdoorsy folks, and the businesses, small business. He's a small business owner himself, times two. So he knows what to say and what it will take to mobilize and activate these folks in these communities. And you also have Cheryl Rogers, who you may know from much work in the past. She's already got the youth and students throughout Florida connecting into a particular organized mobilization effort that is pretty exciting. And we're looking forward to telling you more about that later. But I mean, I'm very grateful because these are things that are huge and honestly time intensive work that just needs to happen and will happen under these capable folks. We're also looking for leads or coordinators in these other communities. And if you're in a particular community that's within, what we just talked about, the youth or fishermen or recreation, whoever you are and whatever you do, wherever you think you fill in or fit in, you know where to go. So so in the future, you'll be able to connect in and see what you can do to support Adam's efforts or Cheryl's efforts or future leaders' efforts and things like that. So all of that will be taken care of and available to you on the website. So yeah, so that's one thing. The big thing that we're asking everyone to consider is, if you hear the call to lead, please step up and email us and let us know. We'll figure things out for you. Okay. Empowerment. This is this is all about the tools available to every single person, every single nonprofit, every single business, every single local government entity, what they can do directly to support and help accomplish the mission. So today we're going to give you an overview of what's to come. Most of these things are in place already, but there's a couple things that just need to be finalized before we officially debut all the things in the future. But to summarize, we have the ability to push out palm blasts, what we're going to call them. And if you see the upper left little picture here, that's going to be kind of like the graphic to note when we ask people to push out on their respective social media platforms a certain message or a certain call to action or a certain opportunity in various areas. So be on the lookout for that. We also have guidelines for folks that have time to create their own content and messages. So I'm not sure if you've ever heard of chaos gardening, but that's the nature of campaigns in general, but especially grassroots campaigns, where it really is upon the initiative of the people, every single person, to figure out for themselves, what can I do? What can I bring to the table? What can I do to make this happen? And not wait for someone to ask you, not wait for someone to tell you what to do, but just kind of imagine things. And there's going to be lots of ideas for you to check out on the website in the future. Okay, so number 3 is going to be an exciting new tool, and Joe here is going to be letting us know what this is all about. Tallied is, I'm just going to unshare. Tallied is a great new tool for us to get on board with, because it is free is preferred, what it takes to get a petition signed, but this is the next best thing when we're talking about cost effectiveness. So go ahead and take it away, Joe.
Okay, so I believe everybody is seeing the screen, correct? Yep. Okay, so I am super excited. We're excited to be teaming up with this professional firm, Tallied. I love everything about them. Part of their mission statement is to prove that one does not need tens of millions of dollars to qualify for a state ballot. That's what they want to prove. We want to prove the same thing, obviously. I think Right to Clean Water and Tallied are just a great fit. So they offer a really cool tool. And underneath their logo, you see there is a link. And we'll be sharing this link with everybody on the call, with all our ambassadors, with all the subscribers to our website and such, to all our supporting organizations. What this firm specializes in is getting pre-filled petitions into the hands of people who are very likely to sign them. So tomorrow, let's say you receive this link and you put it on your Facebook page. Somebody clicks on it. They go to the tally page, and this is what they see. They are taken to our Right to Clean Water page in the Tallied pantheon of initiatives, and it says, find your voter record. You click on go. Next, this is what you see. You have an option of 4 things. I support the initiative and will print, sign, date, and return the petition. If they do not have a printer and they support it and they want to sign it, this firm will mail them a petition, again, filled out with all their information, except for the field for their signature and for the date that they sign, with a return envelope. They have found in both cases, they have a very high response rate. And on top of that, the verification rate is super, super high, because once you get your petition, here's an example, I did this, this is what you get. It's all filled out. There's virtually no room for a mistake. This will cut down on the rejection rate that we get. I mean, our rejection rate is pretty good. It's around 12 to 13%. But still, if we could save all those petitions, if the verification rate is brought down to 1 or 2%, that is super. And this costs us very, very little money if they print it out and mail it in. So to share that link, I mean, I don't know how much easier it can be. You don't have to leave the comfort of your home or your computer in order to send a really cool pre-filled petition to somebody. And if they say they want it, well, there's a very, very high probability they're going to do what they say. So to me, this is better really than being tabling somewhere and you've got an envelope of 5 blank petitions and you say, here, take this and hand these out. I think the rate of return on this is going to be much, much greater. And at 50 cents a petition, that is amazingly inexpensive. This firm believes in what we're doing and they want to help us out. They have more expensive services that they offer. We're not going there yet. They're offering us really cool tools until then. There's a second part to this. For those of you who are interested, all our ambassadors and members of supporting organizations, you can go on to Tallied, create an account, and then you can send an email to folks you know and say, hey, click here, get yourself this petition. I highly recommend that you sign it. It'll be pre-filled out. They'll come to you, sign it, mail it in. You can send that to 10 people you know, 20 people you know. Paula, for how long have we been telling people sign the petition and get 4 or 5 other people to sign it? That
2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years. This is a really, really cool tool to do that. I think the fact that it's pre-filled out is impressive. And again, it increases the rate of return and the verification rate as well. So that's Tallied. We will be getting that link to you very, very soon. We'll be having a little training session on how to open an account and send emails out to folks. So think of a big organization that has thousands of members. Give them this tool. I think we're looking at a lot of petitions. I think it's got a great deal of potential. Okay, that's Tallied.
Great, thank you so much, Joe. That's going to be an exciting new tool for the campaign, and we're definitely looking forward to.
I'll just ask folks to hold questions until the end. Okay.
Terrific, thank you. So very quickly back to the slide on the tools of success. In addition to all of that, we're also we have pre-existing lists that we're going to be sharing with each county of concern. And for both phones and emails and just the information necessary to really do a formidable, robust outreach and connection with folks for all of the above again. So you have a lot of lists available. We have forms that we're going to be sharing in the future that puts everything into place that we just talked about. Just give me the holiday, give me through December, if you please, to get everything up to speed. And or it could be sooner, but I just wanted to let you know that these are all things to come. All right, so here is a quick look at what another difference in the campaign operations aspect. The headquarters, of course, is still going to continue on to support with planning and synchronizing and supporting the efforts everywhere. Through, again, like we were talking about, the ignition of passion, campaigning the efforts, getting entire communities up and moving. We're going to be publicly promoting the commitments and tracking progress of things. We're, of course, still working to get these strategic partnerships in place and big funders and best bang for the buck type of firms like Tallied that we just heard. And we're also going to update you every third Thursday. So we're all able to come together and have a real-time understanding of where we are and where we still need to go. At the county level, we are hoping that there will be at least 2 or 3 folks that are willing to lead these particular functional areas. And those areas are outreach, petitioning, and fundraising. Before now, we've had county captains that have shouldered all 3, which can very well, exhaust anyone. And we have folks that are currently exhausted and looking forward to the respite that is the December holiday season. And we're also, going to be looking forward to what January will bring. So this is part of the end note, but if you are willing, if those have come to this meeting today or see this video later, you have an inkling that you are able to lead and organize any of these three functional areas for your county only, then please email us. And the email will be provided at the end if you don't already have admin@floridarighttocleanwater.org. Local funds will be going to local efforts. So that sometimes will help motivate funders to know that their money is going somewhere that they know and can see will, the output and results come from. All right, so that's going to be another tracking piece for the fundraisers in each county. And of course, to make sure that the momentum continues, we're going to be meeting with these county leaders in every 2 weeks to ensure that they have what they need, to ensure that we get any feedback of questions, concerns, or needs for ideas, more lists, better lists, or whatever needs to happen to ensure each of the county efforts continue on and get what they need to accomplish the goal. So this is what it kind of looks like with arrows. We will be, of course, at the headquarters. Joe and I and others will be here to ensure that everything that needs to happen happens to support each county in their outreach, petitioning, and fundraising. So that's just what it looks like. So if any time you need more lists, any more materials or guidance or graphics or anything that you think might help do your job better, then we will definitely get on top of it and get it out to you. All right, quick note on perseverance. Tracking is going to be helpful when we're talking about the perseverance aspect of our main ideas today. We're going to be streamlining and publishing the current status of each county, how they're doing, along with any information that anyone needs to help continue the progress, like I just said. So that's another, we intended to do that before, but okay, my bad. I wasn't able to follow through on this aspect in the campaign. But this will be part of a real-time capability on the website. And I think this will help to motivate folks to realize, oh, wait, my county needs me. And things like that will happen organically. So yeah, the bottom line is the fate of this initiative belongs to everyone. So everyone should know the status of things. Discipline focus. What that means when we're talking about it, what we really mean is simply just, in addition to making a plan, keeping these types of questions in mind, at least through 2025. Okay, it's going to be like a new normal, a new mentality or mindset. Who else needs to hear about this initiative? Who in my family, in my friend network, the clubs that I go to, the organizations I affiliate with, my favorite businesses that I patronize, or my local government, like, whatever networking node that you believe still needs to hear about us and still needs to support in whatever fashion. That's just kind of like keeping that question mark in mind. Where else? Where else can I go to hold an event or go to an event to try to collect petitions? Where can I meet my friends to talk? All the above. And similarly, just what else? What else can I do? I'm out of ideas. And again, I can go back to the website on our resources page and see what other ideas I haven't thought of yet, what ideas work for other people, and things like that. So the discipline is really a matter of maintaining those questions in your mind. When we're talking about a plan, it really is, again, up to you. but it might help to figure out for yourself and for your group of friends or your organization what you'd like to plan on a daily basis or a weekly basis, monthly, quarterly, whatever works for you, or all the above. These are just very quick examples of some daily things you can put on your task list. Maybe consider direct messaging a friend or someone you know, or that can be by a social media platform. That's what the DM usually is related to. Or you can just email or text someone, hey, have you signed and sent in your right to clean water petition yet? Very simple, very harmless. And if they say yes, and then you can have carry on the conversation to whatever degree is comfortable for you. What do you think about, getting a group together to throw in $10 or something like that? Or would you all like to meet up at a certain place at a certain time on a certain day and collect some petitions with me? Those types of conversations are super easy and organic, and they just kind of like flow as long as you have these types of questions in mind and the ability to plan something. On a weekly basis, you could put something in your calendar if it helps. You can say, note to self, on Mondays or Tuesdays, I'm going to share something out on Facebook because the algorithm, for some reason, is much more responsive on Tuesday mornings. Don't ask me why, it's just what I've researched so far. When I'm on social media and people are talking about anything related to clean water, I can check out, copy and paste these talking points. You may have seen it before. It's just a link to this. And if you have witnessed the Florida right to fish and hunt, this is a tool that they use. They had readily available talking points that people just copied and pasted everywhere they could. Okay, so consider that as a new normal, being able to reach back and right click to copy and paste wherever you think might be appropriate. Okay, it's very easy to do, and it's something you can, if you want. Put it in groups that you're a member of, wherever. Yeah, I just showed you that. So again, if you need anything about any questions that come up in these streams of conversations and you don't know the answer right away, just shoot us the question on the email, or you can tag us and I'll try to chime in whenever I got a chance. So we're all on the same team and available to answer questions. If you would like, you can, especially if you're an organization, this helps to track your progress to ensure that you're on track to meet your committed goal. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind, and you can make it a friendly competition if you want with whomever. It's really do what you want to do, but these are things to consider. And for 2025, just take out a calendar with all of the months, if you would like, and just kind of sit down over the holidays or in January, whenever it's easiest for you, and just kind of consider who else should I invite to my team here. What should be our basic plan, for we could have an event every month, or we can host a party to fundraise, or we can reserve a library room to have a volunteer recruiting and training meeting, all the above. And then figure out what you would like to do in January and continue. Okay, just make a plan. Everyone knows how to make a plan. So it really is just apply your love and passion for clean water and make it happen. So Abraham Lincoln says, discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. And that is just a quick note or a head nod to human nature, where where we often, care about the closest gator to the boat, right? We are very, as a society, not, every one of us or every one of you, we're easily distracted by whatever's, got the headline news or is, uh, feels like it's more important. Now, take care of your life obligations, of course, and family comes first, and, take time off when you need to, of course. But keep this in mind, and that's just what we're asking for is one more year to maintain a certain sense of urgency and care for this particular matter that is the underlying and overarching issue for Floridians and Florida herself. Um, so um, there's going to be a lot going on at all times. If you're looking for something simple and lineal, this is not the place for you. This is, however, a beautiful moment where we're going to see much more information and letters to the editor and ads in places that we read. We're going to see more stuff on the water and closer to the water, like the marinas, and trying to get folks aware enough to be activated. Lots of stuff. I mean, I say all the above a lot today, sorry, but that is really the nature of what this is. It's a lot of things that can happen throughout the year, and it really starts, however, with you. So what's next? 2 points. Make sure you are subscribed to the website. If you look to the homepage, let's see if I can move this around. Just look to the homepage, the very bottom. The widget didn't move, of course. Okay, normally, okay, at the bottom of each page of our website, you'll see the subscribe to, with your email address. We're not collecting information beyond your email address. That, just out of, I don't know, concern for privacy in general. But if you are here and on our list, then we'll be able to update you in the future with the newsletter and all of the tools and all of the resources and information you need to really hook in and start being part of the solution. Second point is to, consider stepping into a leadership role, and both at the county level and at the statewide level, when you're talking about, talking to your fellow members of the community you might find yourself in. Okay. And again, just because there might be a leader to it right now doesn't mean you can't lead as well. Okay. There's room for leadership everywhere. Everywhere. Just email us. Okay. We want to get to know more about you and what you can do and how we can help you lead in whatever capacity you would like. Okay, so let's go save Florida. We are, again, these are some of the themes that we're going to be pushing. It's for our family's sake, our fisheries sake, our future's sake, for Florida's sake. So you might see in future graphics something like this to help with the messaging, attention and care factor for our fellow Floridians to get up and do something more, something active, something helpful to help accomplish our mission. So with that, 15 minutes left. I will give it back to Joe in case there are any questions. We'll hang out for about 15 more minutes and talk.
Yep. Super, Mel. Thank you. Jim, I see you have your hand up, and then Victoria.
Thanks, Joe. A comment or a question, really. After watching what happened in 2024 with the marijuana and abortion and other issues, should we get, or when we get our 900,000 signatures and we get on the ballot, I would imagine the real estate industry, big mining, big ag, all the people who are not going to like this, they're gonna pour millions, tens of millions of dollars into negative ads, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, to try and defeat it. And of course, Florida has a very high bar, 60%. Is there a plan to have a substantial war chest to fight the negative attack ads after we get it on the ballot. Thank you.
Shall I?
There is, but I want to bring something to everybody's attention because all that big money that they're going to throw at a counter campaign doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be effective. Jim, I want to remind you and everybody else here that back in 2020 in Orange County, opposition forces came out in a big way against their rights of nature, right to clean water amendment. I mean, they were sending out mailers saying, if you pass this law, you're going to get rid of affordable housing. We're going to lose jobs. It's going to hurt the economy. Voters did not listen. It passed with an 89% approval rate. So I think we have also seen candidates run who have spent hundreds of millions of dollars and they didn't win. So I don't think money rules the day every time. Having said that, we will be countering their arguments. I don't think it's going to be difficult to do. And as in Orange County, as in Titusville, I think Floridians are smart enough to see through some of the things that they're going to be saying.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, Victoria and then Joyce.
Okay, my question was, since we're going to do this process with Tally-Ed, does this throw us into a paid petitioner status, or we still volunteer?
We're still grassroots, still volunteer. We have not given up our affidavit of undue burden.
Perfect. Thank you.
We are paying nobody to go get a signed petition. Joyce.
Okay, in a way we're playing tally-ed. This isn't my question, but we are paying tally-ed for every petition. So, but that's fine. I'm not going to argue a point.
Okay.
I'm sure that my question is, I firmly feel that the reason the limiting government interference in abortion was not passed was because of the way it was worded on the ballot. I have personal experience with that. Some people who thought they were voting yes voted no because of the way it was worded. And I'm wondering, will you have any control over the wording on the ballot? Or who actually formulates that?
Well, we have written and the state has already approved the ballot summary. So
Yep.
Are they going to try to do other funky things?
Yes.
They might. Will we fight as best we can? We will.
Well, my question is just who controls that and will the campaign, because we worked so hard on the abortion and there was no doubt that the majority of people wanted that to pass.
Mhm.
And yet, because of that, the way it was done, it did not pass. And
Well,
I
don't-
hate to see that happen again.
Right. I don't know if you want to address this question from a more legal point of view.
Well, I would like to know who actually formulates the statement for the ballot and how that is.
So the ballot summary is what will be appearing on the ballot itself.
That's if that's legal, yes.
So
Correct. If approved by
it will?
Supreme Court.
Okay,
All right.
that didn't happen with the abortion amendment. Okay,
So I know there was a lot of people were happy that it went down. A lot of people were discouraged. But I know that those who were behind it, I think that they did pretty well. 57% during a tough election. So I believe you're going to be seeing them coming back, expecting success. We shall see. Do we have other questions? Yes, Bryce.
I was wondering what What is the
Bryce, your
current?
volume is very low. I don't know if it's low for other people.
Oh, sorry.
No, just me? Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I think other people can. Go ahead.
Um, so I was wondering what number of petitions have been collected so far and how successful the push to the polls effort was.
So we've got about 33,000 petitions collected at this point. And I'll be very frank and I'll say that the push to the polls effort was not nearly as successful as we wanted. This ties in with the whole theme of commitment, Bryce. We were expecting a lot more commitments from folks, and it just never materialized. I think we were competing against a historic presidential election,
Yeah.
high-profile amendments, hurricanes. It was hard, and I'll throw in there the right to hunt and fish as well. That started drawing a lot of attention. So not as successful as we want, not nearly as successful. Again, it highlights the importance here of commitment on the part of people. And really, it doesn't take a tremendous amount of commitment, just some, enough to go out there and get a few other people to sign the petition would be terrific. We had 100,000 signed last time. If each one of those people got 5 other people to sign, we're talking 600,000. And then money is rolling in and the rest would have been downhill. So
if we get the number to if it reaches a pretty high number, there's going to be enough support to probably get the rest, is what you're saying.
yes.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Mitch, then Tom.
Have you had any problems? I had a lot of people sign the first go around. They're coming back and they're complaining because they have to sign it again.
Mhm.
What's a good approach on that one? As well as I'd like to address Jim, is somebody following the lawsuit that's going on? I think it's either Volusia or Brevard County, where the city, it got passed with 80 some odd % of a vote, and the city or the county decided to tell the people they don't know what they voted for. Because that would help with Jim's question about what are we going to do? We should be able to learn from that experience.
Okay, I'll address your first question. I think that's relatively simple. Here in Lee County, we have not experienced that very much. It only takes 3 minutes to fill out a second petition. Please do it. If you want clean water, this is, state isn't making it easy. This is what we need to do. As to your other question, I think you were addressing it to Jim. Jim Klausner. Jim? Jim still with us?
Once it gets on the ballot, how to address the people that are going to come after it and say, because we got city officials and county officials that it passed on the charter review or the charter, and then they're saying you didn't know what you voted for. People know what clean water is, and I think we could learn from the experience that they're going through on on what we might be able to do, because I do like to be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
May I?
Yep.
Oh, okay. And I just wanted to note there's 5 minutes left, but to answer the general question, all of those foreseeable challenges, whether it's legal or, ridiculous, they were all incorporated in mind as we were designing the language itself. It is unfortunately one of the reasons why it's so lengthy, because it is ironclad. And so there is no legal challenge that would win the day unless and until the Supreme Court just goes completely rogue, in which case there would be other underlying issues of concern. So, so those are all a part of the initial process of developing the language to make sure everything is kosher and will stand at the end of the day, just like Titusville is.
Thank you, Mel. Tom, then Kathleen.
Yeah, I'd like to address a couple of the questions. Mitch's question. Nobody has signed more petitions for the right to clean water than Titusville people. Okay, this is the third round. And the way I start my pitch is I say, have you signed the new right to clean water petition? Okay, and I follow it up if they say something with, did you sign it this year? Okay, if you signed it last year, you signed the old one. It didn't make it on the ballot. Next, I like to reiterate the commitment part for Claiborne to address this question. Okay, here in Brevard, okay, we had a small group of people, roughly 6 to 8, that went out there several hours a day for most of the days of the early voting. And we did collect almost 1,600 petitions during that time. If we could have done that statewide for the various areas in each county, like Melbourne versus North Brevard, you can see that we would have done much, much better. But again, it's the issue of commitment and getting people out there to, put in a couple of hours a week. It doesn't take much, Next, Titusville. Our right to clean water amendment was challenged. I should say not challenged, but we were sued, okay, in order to keep it off the charter. And the argument of clarity, the judges clearly, pardon the extra clear, made it clear that the language was clear, okay? And I guess that addresses those 3 points. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Kathleen?
I put my email address in the chat. I have 2 areas that I can help anybody with. One is money. We need money, and I can help you on one-on-one. I have tools to help us contact donors who have donated to other environmental things like ours, and also a and donors, celebrities, you name it. I have really comprehensive lists and databases. So, and you don't have to be intimidated, be in a group session. I can help you one-on-one. We can share screens, we'll be fine. And we're just talking, whatever time you can spend during the week, like Tom was saying, an hour or 2, whatever. 10 minutes, we'll take anything. And also people who are not familiar with how to share our posts on social media. I can help you on Facebook. There's a way, certain little tools to navigate how to get that into lots of Facebook groups out there, pages like Mel had mentioned, commenting on other posts. So I can help you in both those areas, one-on-one. So email addresses in the chat. Reach out to me, please. Thank you.
See, we are at what? 6:59. So, Mel, do you have any closing comments that you would like to make?
No, I'm just thankful for you all. I did want to put in the potential idea that, we would love to send out caps that we're going to show you the designs of in the future for the first 500 folks that sign up to and commit to 1,000, collecting 1,000 petitions. Okay, for the whole year. Yes, you'll get one, Tom. I know that you're going to get it in a few months or 1 month. But those types of, incentive, like things are part of this whole process of getting people out and committed and working toward the same goal. And then just imagine a year from now. Okay, just stop to imagine, take 2 seconds left and imagine a year from now, we've accomplished our goal. It is on the ballot. Floridians will be able to decide their own fate. And as we all know, Florida voters have a history, a long track record of always voting in environmental protections into the law. we don't really have to worry about that piece. We'll be countering the opposition, sure, but we are pretty much on smooth smooth surface for the rest of the time there. It is really all about this last year and qualifying for the ballot. So let's all just grin and bear it, put our, roll our sleeves up, do whatever it takes to promise ourselves that this is the year for clean water in Florida. That's it.
Thank you, Mel. Thank you, everybody, for being with us here tonight. Everybody, all people have a fundamental right to clean water. Future generations have a fundamental right to clean water, but we've got to get it in the Constitution. Got to commit to that, make it happen. So have a great night. We will get, if you want the recording, that will be made available to you. The link for Tallied will be made available shortly. And all systems go. Everybody.
Mel and Joe, just give me a moment afterwards, please.
Okay, that'll be Mel. Mel can't stay.
It's just 1 minute, if that.
Can you call me?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, call me. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.